Lord, protect us both. May our study be fruitful. May we exert together. May we not quarrel with each other, and may the vision of the teaching bless our lives and the lives of those around us. Lord, let there be peace, peace, peace. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, again, still in chapter 2, verse 69. No, did we finish? Have we finished? No, we haven't finished yet.
We haven't finished.
No, we're still on page 381.
Yeah.
All right. So we saw
Verse 70.
370?
Verse 70.
Oh, verse 70, yeah. Verse 70, that's correct. Just as water flows into the ocean that is brimful and still, so too the wise person into whom all objects enter gains peace, remains unchanged, whereas a desire of objects does not gain peace. That's what we discussed so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
We discussed about the pond, we discussed about the ocean. You know, we saw that the pond represents the Atma in the person, taking himself to be the person, in other words, personality, right? Well, actually, the truth is that Atma, the self, is the ocean. But taking itself to be the personality, then it depends. It's dependent. Dependent on, just like the pond, that the source that makes it be doesn't stop. It depends also on not having too much rain, because then it will disappear. And it also depends that nobody disturbs its banks, because then it will spread all over the place. In the same sense, the personality structure is very dependent. And that the source that gives it life doesn't go away. Is that right? That this world doesn't crush us, as it were, in many ways. You know, so we're very dependent. You know, so while at the same time we always are that ocean, we're not the pond. That's the basis of this, right? So Swamiji was talking. I think that we finished the one that says a wise person, right?
So we start the demise of one's emotional.
Okay, that's the demise of one's emotional yo-yo. Let me read the previous paragraph so we can continue on, okay? If desirable objects enter into the head of a person who is not full, they create havoc in the person because they have to be gained, experienced, or owned, and there may be no way of doing so. Therefore, the person smarts, sweats, frets, and fumes. When a person looks upon himself or herself as one who is lacking, desires only cause problems. And if such a person is told to give up all desires, he or she cannot do it. Unless one is full, desires cannot be given up. They go away only when the person is full. Even if desires do enter the head of a wise person, they do not create any problems, because whether the desires are fulfilled or not, it is all the same to the person. Okay, now I want to make a point here. He's saying that when the person is full, then the person has no problem. While the person takes himself or herself to be the limited jiva, then the person will fret and suffer. Now, does that mean then that we have to become full?
No, we are already full. We just have to realize that.
That's correct. So the fullness, when it says, as you know, when the person is full, doesn't mean that eventually we'll get full.
Yeah.
Remember that? Normally we go on the premise that we're empty. In other words, lacking. Therefore, our attempt is to become full. How? By filling ourselves. Is that right? So we want to be fulfilled. And now, when the premise is taken properly, when we know, this is the thing, when we know that the body is me, but I'm not the body. Understand? When the mind is I, but I am not the mind. When the senses is me, are me, but I'm not the senses. So then, the me that I come to know is a me that is not lacking. Why? Because not being the body, the mind, or the senses, it does not, the limitations, in other words, the limitations of those don't belong to me. If the body and senses are there, I am there, no problem. And if the body and senses are not there, I'm still there. So this purna, this fullness, does not get, how do you say that, diminished by the relative aspects of the personality not to be there. See that? So if I mistakenly take myself to be this personality, then I will be looking forward to becoming full. But I'll tell you one thing, this is a tragedy in a sense. Look at this. If I am the body, and the truth of me is the body, the mind, the senses, the personality, if that's who I am, I will never become full.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the body is eventually perishable, it's going to go away.
That's right.
So,
And then, if the body, if I am, if the aham, if the I am is limited, the limited is limited, and it will never become limitless. The finite will never become infinite. If it is finite. And then nothing will make me complete. So, as I am identified with the personality structure, I am condemned to limitation. Is that right? Why? Because whatever I do, either I follow the scripture shastra, if I do yoga, if I pray, if I give charity, if I live a life of complete, let's say worship and all that, that won't take care of my problem, because you see, I'm going on the premise that what? That my nature is limited. I have to know that I am full. And even though I feel limited, you see that? Even though I feel limited, the sense of limitation is nothing but a sense. We were talking about it the other day. Swami Dayananda in the second chapter, in the fourth chapter, makes this example about he uses the example of if you're on a boat traveling and you see the shoreline, then it seems as though you have the sense that the trees are going backwards.
mm-hmm.
If you're on the shoreline now and you see a boat going away from you, it doesn't seem like it's moving. It's going away from you. And you see the tail end of the boat, of the ship, it doesn't seem like it's moving. If it was in front of you, then you see it go by. But if you're looking at it like that, it doesn't look like it's moving. So even if you sense that the trees are moving, even if you sense that the boat is not moving, the one that is going away from you, the truth is that the trees don't move, and the truth is that boat is moving. Now, this is what's called a visual mistake. It's called the word called adhyasa. It's a superimposition. It's a mistake that we take to be something else. Now here, identify with the body, mind, senses because they're limited. This Atma, which is fullness, is the Chaitanya, the consciousness, sees this thing deteriorating. And he says, I am deteriorating. It is a sense. And then, not knowing who I am, not knowing who I am, then, so what it is, then I say, I don't want to deteriorate. So I want to add to myself as much as I can in terms of possessions, this and that, fame or whatever. In order so I don't dwindle down. I go to the, how do you call this, that? Plastic surgeon. I do this and I do that, I use a lot of Revlon and I use a lot of all this stuff that, I buy myself a wig, so people don't, and I look different, did all this stuff. But I'm just kidding myself because in this sense I am going. As a matter of fact, I started going when I was born. But I need to know who I am. If I know who I am, then what is going is what needs to go because it's ruled by time, space, and causation. But the witness of that, the Sakshi, the conscious witness of that, is not going nowhere. It was there before the youth, and the youth went, and he was there during the youth. Then he became middle age, and so on. And it's the same one. That doesn't change. So here, the idea is that identification, because of ignorance, creates something that is not there. It's called mithya, and it's all due to avidya. Avidya means knowledge. It's a mistake. That's all there is. So that's why I said here, the person is limited. If I am limited, I am condemned to be limited and nothing will make me limitless. Now then, the question will be, why do I want limitlessness? Because I am limitlessness. And something in me tells me I shouldn't end. So, if I am limitless, if Aham Purna as me, if I am that Purna, complete, I'm not going to go for trying to become full. I want to try to discover my fullness. And if the problem is the problems of ignorance, then I need to gain knowledge of that, of my true being. So this Vedanta is a means, is a pramana. So the pramata, who is the pramata? The one that knows, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Right now, the one that knows is lacking knowledge of itself. It asks itself, what am I? And then when it asks itself, it immediately, identifies with what it perceives. And this is, I am this fella. So this pramata is just lacking knowledge. So it has to bring the factor of who I am. It doesn't have to change. Now, here's what happens. Then the pramata, the knower, then now has this new factor about itself. It continues using the pramanas to be able to get the prameyas. Prameyas are called the things to be known, isn't it? But with no problem, not with a sense of when I get that, then I'll be okay. But the person, as I said before, how do you say that? It eats a pie and keeps it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Eats a cake and keeps it.
Yeah.
Finder keeper.
Yeah, no, not finder keepers.
Yeah.
You see,
It's a cake and have it.
no, eats a cake and has it and keeps it. Yeah. In other words, there's no change in you in terms of, but the change is that completely whole new cognition of yourself. And even though sometimes you might forget, but you always recover because yeah, look at this. The old tape plays again, but you know who you are. So you know that you are. That is evident to you. But what we need to do is know who we are, and the Vedanta is a means to know what I am. And then that immediately says, so you mean I don't know who I am? Well, you that you are, that you think you are, is it a, how do you say that? Is it a comfortable me? And you find out that it isn't. That is why we're always trying to find a comfortable me through being in situations and things. So I need to discover if I am that self which is complete. So this prameya, this knower, I know I am a knower. I need to know who I am and add that factor into my experience and find fun in living. But I need to assert that. I need to know that very well. So I had to access a means of knowledge because the pramanas, the means that I have at my disposal, which is perception, inference, and all that, are not, they cannot know the self. So that's why the Vedanta is unfolded. This is a key point in the whole thing. Otherwise, we're just spinning our wheels. And I cannot say I'm a zero. I mean, nothingness. Buddhists say I'm zero. I'm a zero. I'm a nothingness. Nothing. The nothingness is the truth, because I am. This I am, even though it's a mistaken identity. The I am is self-evident. And then if I ask you, who's nothingness? I am nothingness. So the I am remains. You know what I'm talking about? This is just the sunyata. How you call the Buddhists call it that all there is this is all a dream.
Oh, shunyata.
Shunyata.
Shunya means zero.
Zero.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, shunyata.
Zero is limited too.
Yeah. Well, but again, no. But that zero means there's nothingness.
Nothing, yeah.
Nothingness. And then who's nothingness? I am nothingness. Who's that? I am nothing. This I am doesn't go away. The amness remains. The aimness remains. So, Adi Shankaracharya, in the how do you call this, in the Upanishads, commentaries, and the Brahma Sutras, he establishes that very well. And this particular course we're taking, is aimed at recognizing that you are, but then other than what you think. The sense is one, but the truth is another. The sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this case, you have the sense that the how do you call this? The trees are moving. It's a sense. That's all it is. And it's interesting to see the trees moving, but you better know they're not moving. It is you that's moving. See the idea? Yeah. If you know, that's no problem. You can enjoy seeing it go by.
Yeah.
That needs to be known. Okay, very good. So we want to see now.
May I ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you say I am complete and also I am limitless? Is that a,
Same thing.
no? I mean, I'm a little bit confused because I'm completely limitless. Complete has boundaries, does it? No.
No, complete is complete,
Okay.
isn't it? Complete is complete.
Whole.
Whole.
Okay.
That's the how you call it, the meaning of the word Purna in Sanskrit.
Yeah. Limitless is.
It's the same thing. Boundless.
Okay.
Limitless means boundless. Actually, who you are is limitlessness itself. Limitlessness itself. You see, when they say, it's the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahman. Is that right? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahman. Ananta means what?
All the time.
Ananta means
no end.
no end.
Right.
Yeah.
Satya means truth, absolute. Is that? Jnana means what? Consciousness, absolute. So Satchitananda. You know, I don't know if you ever equated Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman is Satchitananda. Same thing.
So one and the same.
It's the same. It's just different ways of,
Expressing it.
free of attributes. If there's attributes, then there's
Limited.
division. And there is no division to you. The wave might have attributes. Big wave, skinny wave, old wave, young wave, powerful wave, what do you call this, weak wave, knowledgeable wave, stupid wave, right? But H2O has no attributes, has no size. The size of the wave has nothing to do with the water, H2O. The condition of the wave, the size and all the attributes belong to the wave, and the wave has no reality of its own. It's called mithya. It has a reality, but the reality is something that has been lent, provided by truth. If the wave realizes aham, H2O, as me, the wave doesn't disappear, and it continues functioning as wave. And of course, the thickness and the smallness and the bigness and all that still there. But it doesn't belong to me, H2O. If I want to do something to decrease the thickness or to increase the power or whatever, I might do something. But that won't affect me whatsoever. And I, H2O, will not be affected by it. So who you are, you can not add anything to yourself because there's nothing else besides yourself. That's why Satyam, Anantam, Brahman. Brahman means big, and not big as an adjective, as big as a noun. There's nothing else. There's a phrase in Latin that establishes this, if I'm not mistaken. Who you are is non plus ultra. There is no more, no other. Nothing else is there except you. Non plus ultra. Plus, comes from plus in English. You can add anything more to it. Ultra, beyond that. None. There's nothing else beyond that. No more beyond that. That's it. Who you are is everything. Now, give that gift to the mind. Give it. In other words, bless your mind with that knowledge. And let your mind, walk upon the face of the earth with that knowledge. And fear disappears. Altogether. And everything that was designed will manifest. Doesn't mean that the body will last for 1,000 years. Body will go. But that's, even if you only have 1 more minute to live. Even if you have 1 more minute to live, that's it. You're done for. This is for full maturity. You accomplish the purpose of being alive. Not for anybody's sake, for your sake only. And then you can really love. Because you see yourself everywhere. That's amazing. Okay? So, I just wanted to make that comment because it seems as though people could take on the saying that then Purna, complete, you have to become. Complete, you'll never become. You are that. Okay, now the demise of one's emotional yo-yo. Okay, you want to read?
Sure.
Please.
the demise of one's emotional yo-yo. The word kama in this verse is taken to mean objects. Kamayate iti kamaha, they are desired and therefore called kamas. If a person does not know that he or she is ananda, the person is elated when desirable objects enter and dejected when undesirable objects enter. Whereas for the wise person there is no difference. He or she is shanti alone, meaning that there is no change in the person whatsoever. The emotional yo-yo is no longer there for him or her. There may be a ripple of laughter or even roaring laughter sometimes, just as the ocean seems to be very ecstatic at certain times and simply smiling at other times. There can be a smile, a laugh, or tranquility.
Okay. So, we're taking the word kama as what? Normally.
Desire.
Desires, right? Now, he's using the word kama, the Lord Krishna is using the word kama as what?
Means objects.
Objects. In other words, those factors that produce desire are called objects. It was kamas. He calls them kamas. Okay. Now, and why would they produce desires? Why are they called kamas? Because why would the objects create desires? And there's two types of desires. Okay, one desire is to possess, and the other is
Get it on?
desire to get rid of. They're both desires, isn't it? I want this to come, I want this to go. This is the desires. Now, why are those objects bringing about that particular feeling? Why? What happens if something that I don't want goes?
It doesn't make you feel good.
Okay, it makes you feel good, isn't it? In other words, it creates shanti, peace in yourself, isn't it? And then if the thing that you don't want, that you want, to go, doesn't go, what happens?
Frustrated.
Then you feel upset, isn't it? Frustrated. Now, why is it? It is because the mind is convinced that that object, when it goes, if I want it to go,
Will be happy.
will make me experience fullness. So I'm looking for fullness. In other words, I want to become full when that thing goes, or I want to become full when it comes, if I want it to come. It means I'm taking myself as what? What is the opposite to fullness?
Empty.
Emptiness. Someone was saying yesterday in a movie, I think it was, somewhere, that psychiatrists say that a desire for sweets, in other words, this hang up on sweets and comfortables and all that, is usually dressing up for a sense of, how do you say that, depression. What is depression? What is depression? When a person is depressed, is what? He's what?
Dejected?
Sad. Sadness, isn't it? Is that right? So he's saying, this guy, so it is a symptom of depression that is trying to be resolved. In other words, why do you want to feel good? Because I feel bad. I feel bad doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't say, when I say I feel bad, I'm not saying that my mind feels bad. I say I am bad.
Yeah.
Is that right? I am labeling myself as feeling bad. And I want to feel good. Meaning I want to be good, be in good state. How are you? I'm fine. Is that right? I'm fine. Why? And it's always because of something. The weather, or my husband.